On today's Man of the Apes, we are living in the year 2000.
2 years sticking paws off me, damn dirty ape. Exercise with an ape maker, human down. Then talks. We are the keepers of the divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human.
And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Todd. The guy across from me who's been really silent for about the last 10 minutes as we kind of took a little break, it's Richard.
Hey, everybody.
And that was Sean singing the open.
In the air right now.
Okay. Can we officially move that maybe when Sean sings, I bring the monkey bleeps back?
Wow. Or just Sean talks.
Wow! All right, here we are, minute 10. This is the end of the week, week
It's
2.
a Friday.
We are moving along. We are now 1/9 of the way through this film,
Yep.
approximately. Sean, tell us what's going on with minute 10.
All right, we start minute 10 with the watch commander blathering on again and ends with Milo, maybe not Milo, Caesar, and Armando following Lisa.
All right, let's take a listen to minute 10 of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Demonstration on the South Plaza will be terminated in 10 minutes. Repeat. The labor demonstration on the South Plaza will be terminated in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Frank. Funny, now that I know they won't kill me, I don't enjoy them.
Well, for heaven's sakes, a circus.
As of minute 10, we got a courtyard of gorillas, chimpanzees, or at least one orangutan, Milo, and a planet's worth of humans.
All right, so here we are in the scene that Richard says should have happened at minute 9. And we get to discuss why we all felt that perhaps it would make the actual minute 9 make more sense, were 9 to be 10 and 10 to be 9. In this scene, we obviously see them walk upon a little cafe. They're passing things out. We see a gorilla dressed in a costume. Mm-hmm. This goes back to my question I had earlier. Do they have a license to dress him differently?
Well, I'm assuming because he is quote unquote working that he gets to dress appropriately.
And is that when they see Caesar, they don't know that they don't know he's technically working.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was going to go back to.
Okay.
That Caesar, they're either in the speed suits or they're working.
But he's still wearing a red outfit. I mean, the difference
is red.
The jacket has been.
It's a little military-looking servant jacket kind of thing.
Right. Like he's on a boat. Like he's got that kind of that servant captain.
Very naval,
for somebody
nautical
waiting
kind of thing.
And I get it that they're trying to say this is a highbrow little cafe, but it was a weird outfit for.
I think they just found it in the costumes. And
I would almost rather see him truly dressed as a waiter might be, with some little white jacket, a black tie, an apron.
A little napkin. They kind of.
I was looking because it's kind of naval looking, and I thought, wait, is there like a little crossover with the Love Boat? No, Love Boat didn't come out until 77.
Can I sing it again?
The
Love Boat.
That's why I did that. So, no, 77 for the Love Boat.
So we in the scene, we get that Caesar, we truly see him now passing out the flyer. And while we don't get a shot of it, it's pretty well implied, oh, that's why they're here is now to promote the circus that they've sort of ineffectively through dialogue mentioned that they're part of.
Oh, she goes, oh, heaven's sakes, a circus.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying until she says that,
Right.
you can kind of go, oh, I get it. And then she reiterates circus.
But the whole idea, he finished the moment outside saying, it's monstrous. Now you understand why we've kept you away. Come, be quiet. They're still walking outside, so they should have chanced upon the cafe.
Right.
The flyer should have been passed out at that particular point when she goes to circus. Now we know why Armando's there, right?
Well, yeah.
We wondered why Armando was there, and now he goes, she goes, oh, a circus.
Yeah, going back to what I was talking about in the opening minutes, Armando is flying in a helicopter.
Right.
I thought he had stepped it up in the world and not working at a circus anymore, but especially because they were saying circuses are gone now. They're a thing of the past, they're history. But I guess a circus at least still exists. His.
Well, I mean, can you imagine how this idea of the circus? We didn't know what they were there for. If Caesar had been dressed in something that was more circus-esque,
yeah, I do think that even Armando, I thought
should have
even
been dressed up.
If you had him
the
as an
master of
organ
ceremonies.
grinder or something like that,
yeah, it should have been something where they were calling to it instead of looking like the weird beatnik look, with the turtlenecks. And
you
the
have a
leather
little
jacket.
vest on him, you have a little cap on him, and he's got a little cup that he's holding out for money from people.
Circuses of the future.
So we also get Caesar fighting with our gorilla, who we find out's name is Frank, and Frank is so trained that he's over lighting cigarettes, and the lady makes...
yeah, and cigarettes are safe now?
Yeah, now that I know it won't kill me, I don't enjoy it quite as much as her.
What commentary is Dane making right there?
Yeah, that was...
Did they suddenly go back to the whole Mad Men thing where smoking was good for you?
No, it takes care of your T-zone.
What the...
But okay, so now that I know they won't kill me, I don't enjoy them. So they're saying something about this modern society,
right?
That death has no meaning. That they've gotten past this point, right? He's trying to say that we're now comfortable. We're in a place where these things don't affect us.
Maybe it's weird.
But we saw that in the last couple of movies. We're like, here's a line that doesn't apply to something socially that you would think of. I mean, it's a throwaway line in terms of what he's done in prior films.
And is it meant to be humorous?
I'm considering in the 70s, I think people knew cigarettes were not good for them.
You're beginning to see that because my dad smoked then. I know he quit because of the
But that'd be the equivalent of going,
for you.
oh, I know this alcohol is not good for me, but I'd quit drinking it if I knew that. No, I'm still drinking because I know it's not good for me.
So we get Caesar and Frank hissing at each other.
Well, hang on. Before we get to Caesar and Frank, because I had something about that, I did look up because we started off the minute with a watch commander blathering on again. He does not have a credit in this movie. This is the one thing I want to look up. Who is a watch commander? No credit. So I'm imagining this guy has spent his summer recording all his watch commander stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, boys, let's go to the theater. I'm in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. You're gonna hear me. Sit down, watch. You hear him talking. He gets no credit. Oh, poor guy.
Poor guy.
All right. Anyway, sorry, Frank.
So to Frank's annoyance, yeah, I mean Caesar does pick up the top of the serving kettle to kind of look inside,
see what it is.
What's there, and Frank kind of hisses at him, and they kind of growl at each other. Fair. You shouldn't be picking up food serving things and seeing what's under it. So.
I was proud of Milo / Caesar for not yelling at him, not talking, hissing back, and I wonder if that's DNA from his dad dying on top of the... Yeah.
Maybe. So this all comes down to, and what's the final thing that we see according to where we stop?
Hang on, going back up.
He's handing out flyers.
Milo and Armando following Lisa.
Okay, so that was my whole thing about, I wanted to make sure that that's where we ended, so I didn't speak out of turn. Were this ahead of it, then were he to see Lisa, follow Lisa, it's still creepy, but at least he's following her, and now they go into the bookstore. That makes more sense, because now the way it happens is we get bookstore scene where they have their weird little exchange and she walks away. They have cafe scene, and then suddenly it cuts over here, and there's no reason for him to be seeing her again. Yeah. It's gross.
Okay, so let's she's already carrying a book when they see each other. So I kind of wonder if these moments had like two places that were supposed to kind of like be cut, and the person thought that had to be done. Let me see if they see each other in the shopping center.
this is not the equivalent, but it's similar to I watched the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and there are times when I can tell in the opening monologue where an edit is, and the edit is always where they go to John Baptiste playing the piano, and then playing the piano, and you can hear the laughter is kind of weird, and they cut back and they go, all right, we're out of here we're going to come back for the next segment.
Right.
You can tell where an awkward edit point is if you know what you're looking for, and this felt like an awkward edit point.
It feels like an awkward edit point that doesn't have to be awkward.
No,
though, because you could have easily constructed this entire thing where she's what leads them to the bookstore. But it isn't treated like that. It's more of a happenstance. They come upon her. She walks away. They do something else. They all of a sudden, for no reason, see her again.
And again, I don't know the rest of this movie. Maybe Lisa is like Milo. She could potentially be smarter. So it'd be an interesting thing where maybe she got a flyer, saw it, and then realized what it was saying, but tried not to react to it.
So the scene was supposed to play with them coming upon the outdoor cafe. They come to the outdoor cafe. They distribute the flyers. We have the exchange about the cigarette and all that kind of stuff. There is not a back and forth with Caesar and Frank. That did not happen. But there was a scene with two uniformed officers and Apes, a shackled gorilla named Aldo who comes into toll. And there's supposed to be like a little small back and forth with Caesar and Aldo kind of cringing at each other.
All right, so
then we go to them coming into the shop as Lisa is in the shop. They have the exchange with the exchange we're familiar with get the book, not get the book. He and Lisa kind of exchange each other. Can you display the flyer in the window? Then we move to them walking outside where we see the restrooms. And it may not be as obvious to you guys, but when we were walking, when he runs across Lisa, going across that thing where they seem to be following her, they walk in front of a sign that says women, and then it has the diamond with the X in front of it.
I had that note. I noticed on the women's bathroom a red diamond with an X through it. Does that mean no apes allowed?
But I think they staged this. I think they knew they were going to change this cut when they filmed it because they went ahead and filmed the scene with Lisa, with Armando and Caesar following Lisa. I feel like they knew this cut change was going to happen because it wasn't even though it was in the script, the reverse.
Right.
The follow scene did not necessarily happen in the way that it was actually filmed.
I do have to say, though, when you're talking about Armando and Frank and Lisa and Frank, I think at Musso and Frank, the restaurant or whatever it is.
What is it? Which Frank?
It's like Musso, there's a restaurant called Musso and Frank's Grill, I think. There we go. See? Musso and Frank.
Oh.
So every time you say blank and Frank, I think Musso and Frank. I think this is in L.A. I don't know.
So Armando and Caesar are supposed to move down outside. They pass public washrooms. On the first door is a silhouette of a man. The second is the silhouette of a woman. And on the third, the shot of an ape. As the pair pass this last door and move out of the shop, the door opens and a female chimpanzee emerges with a bag of groceries, smoothing her dress. We didn't see any of that. We really just saw Lisa kind of walking in front of a door that says women with the diamond and the X on it.
Okay.
And that's kind of where the minute ends.
Right.
Yeah.
We stop right before we go into the next moment.
I mean this literally, and I expect our wealth of useless information to know this or look it up.
I'll see what I can do.
Do apes go into heat? Are they of that species that do that? I mean, is that... I'm trying to figure out the weirdness.
Why is he smelling
of them
her?
recognizing each other, other than the convenience of them being the main cast members need to know each other?
Yeah, and it seemed odd. And so I started thinking, well, is that some animalistic thing that we're giving way to?
Okay, so what if we'd had the cafe scene first outside where he's passing out flyers?
Yes.
They walk into the bookshop and we see the exchange with Lisa.
Yes.
And we see Armando say, "Can you put this flyer out?"
Yes.
And then we see Caesar pull a flyer and give it to Lisa as she's walking out.
That'd be nice.
And that would be the nod to where she walks outside with the book and then looks at the flyer and then looks at him and then walks away.
Yeah.
Now we know how to follow this character. If he'd given her something, a flyer, she can't read, but she can take a piece of paper because she can take a book.
So,
right?
and especially a picture on the flyer would help. And while I really do like this movie, and I always have, it speaks again of when you do low-budget filmmaking, you're trying to crank a product out that you sometimes don't take the time to go,
figure out your world.
Here's the touch that needs to have that scene work. you're sitting there going, okay, there's Lisa. We've introduced her. I kind of get that. I like the drama in this. But it's also the conventions of a 72 film as compared to what today would be. There's a lot of,